author, amazing public speaker. She does all the things. She's a dog mom. She all the things. Petra, welcome back.
Thank you so much for having
Yeah. Let's jump into some joy things because I like joy. I like happiness.
me. Me too. It's one of my favorite topics.
Why do we treat joy like something we have to earn instead of that something that we can experience during the day?
It is like we've outgrown joy. If we look at kids, they are so joyful at the smallest things. They get so excited. And I think our excitement levels have been dulled down over the years.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a way that culture is. We can't be too joyful. We can be upset and sad, but being joyful is not acceptable. Think of if you and I bumped into each other and I was like, Paul, how are you doing? You're like, oh, not great. There's stress. And I'd be like, oh, I'm so sorry. But if I'm on a high, and I'm so happy and I'm so
forget
joyful,
about all the nonsense.
I forget about all of it. But after a while, people will think I'm weird. They'll think I'm strange. So it's almost like being upset and down is more acceptable than being joyful.
I know, you get almost judged for it.
I used to. I was called an annoying ray of sunshine.
Wow.
Literally an annoying ray of sunshine for many, many years. I've been called too happy. I make people uncomfortable because joy is my natural state of being. I'm not joyful all the time, of course. I mean, I'm human. So I feel all the feels and when things happen. But as a natural state, it's where I live in more often than not. And I make people uncomfortable. They don't like me being
That's
joyful.
very
It annoys
strange.
them.
I couldn't think of anything worse. I just want to be like, happy all the time.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, my brain doesn't allow me that, but kind of have to make the best of a really tough situation.
It takes conscious effort. It really
No,
does.
it does.
I mean,
It does.
I'm an overthinker, so I naturally tend to gravitate towards overthinking, which limits my joy because I'm constantly focused on outcomes and the future and solving problems. But so it does take conscious effort.
Yeah.
It really does. But once that becomes entrained and it becomes part of your neural pathways, it becomes your pattern. So that's the thing as well, is like anything that you need to practice, it becomes easier.
100%.
So when you go into the gym and you're using 5Ks, you might feel the resistance at first, but the longer you use 5 kilogram dumbbells, the lighter it gets, and then you upscale. And it's exactly the same.
I like it. I like it. I actually, and you said overthinking, it just reminded me, I was chatting to a friend of mine yesterday, and he actually gave me an article to read because he knows I am the most ridiculous overthinker in life. And he actually gave me an article to read. I haven't read it yet, but it talks about how overthinking and how that deprivation of joy and happiness in your life actually starts to affect that level of overthinking, how it starts to affect the way you breathe, the way you talk, the way you think, the way you react to people.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's quite scary.
It is because it increases our cortisol levels, so our stress hormone. And if we can rather opt to be in a state of joy, that increases dopamine. So it does viscerally have an effect on our very being. So your friend's 100% correct that it affects our nervous system regulation because, again, when you're overthinking, you're looking for problems. You're constantly scanning for what could go wrong.
100%.
So our bodies, like we spoke about last week, is in that state of fight or flight, which means I'm going to be dysregulated and I'm not going to have ease and joy and peace with the present moment.
Yeah, not enjoying where you are right now.
Completely. So it heightens our awareness and our state, not in a way that serves and supports us.
Okay. Do you think the modern life has made it more difficult for us to notice joy, or because we're constantly distracted and worrying about the next thing?
For sure. And we're constantly striving for more. We're constantly on the go. We're not living in the present moment as much. So some countries, and I'm not talking about war-torn countries, but some, let's say, cultures or villages that are simpler, that don't have the distractions, as you pointed out, as we do, are generally happier.
Yeah.
It's because a combination of things where we aren't being present in the moment because of the distractions.
Yes.
And distractions include our access to information.
Yes.
Social media, the news, information that our friends tell us, which more often than not, we're not going to be sharing drama and spilling the tea on something that's exciting.
But we're susceptible to hearing something bad and going, I can empathize with that. And then all of a sudden it puts you in that frame of mind.
I'm so glad you mentioned that. So it's 100%. We've been taught that if I care about you, I need to feel and mirror what you're feeling. And it's almost as if I don't feel the sorrow or the grief or the fear with you, it means that I don't care.
Yeah.
So it's become a way of integrating and fitting into society, is that I need to mimic what you're doing. Because if I'm not, you're going to look at me and think, well, Petra doesn't care. She is not empathetic. But that's also the difference between sympathy and empathy.
100%.
And that sympathy is I feel sorry for you. Empathy is
I feel you.
I feel you, and I don't need to get sucked into it.
Yeah.
I did that for many, many years in a previous relationship where I took on his anxiety, his stress, his bad mood. So I was walking on eggshells. And I ended up rather taking on his emotional state, because if I was joyful, it wouldn't have been acceptable. He wouldn't have looked at me as being empathetic. So I dulled my joy so much, and that's completely on me. That's nothing to do with anyone else.
Sure.
But I chose to dull my joy. And sure, it was unconscious and subconscious a lot of the time.
Got you.
But where are we taking on other people's moods and circumstances as our own?
Yeah, that's a surefire way for self-destruction.
Completely. And we mean well sometimes.
Yeah, no, we do, but we need to learn where our boundaries are, I guess. What's the difference between joy and happiness? Like we're enjoying something when we should actually be doing something else.
So good. So happiness is dependent on external circumstances, whereas joy is an internal state of being.
Yes.
So I can find happiness in small moments, nice things that happen. But joy is that regulated state of being. So regardless of what's going on around me, I'm going to naturally gravitate towards joy, which includes gratitude and being present in the moment. So joy is so much bigger than happiness. It's almost like happiness is an entryway to joy, but joy is a way of being. You know, if we look at someone and we look at their personality, for example, like that person's just a negative person, or that person's a sarcastic person, that's a state of being. So if you are going to describe and define someone else, I'm thinking of Simon Sinek, for example. If people speak about him or Jay Shetty, we refer to them as being inspiring. That's their natural state of being. It doesn't mean that they're turned on 24/7.
Yeah.
But most people that they interact with and engage with, that's just how they show up. That's natural.
100%. Another question before we hit some music. Why does joy sometimes feel unproductive? Like, for example, if we're enjoying something, like, should we be doing something else? And like, are we training ourselves to overlook smaller moments because we're always chasing something bigger?
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of us have been trained to see joy as a reward for achievements, for productivity, where it's not a reward. Joy is a natural state of being. It's a human right.
Yes.
But it's become, and I know I grew up with constantly chasing the achievements, and unless I achieved to my standard that I wanted, or other people's standards, I felt like I didn't deserve the joy, the celebration, because I'd fallen short of what I wanted to achieve or do.
Got you.
So that became a habit as well.
Yeah.
Where I would achieve something, or I'd had a really productive day and I'd be excited and yay, but then I'd move on to the next thing. So now it's been in training myself to really, regardless if I've been productive or not, or if I have achieved something that I'm aiming for, because sometimes it's a long-term goal, that I can still find moments of joy, but that has taken conscious awareness.
100%. It takes a lot of work. When we come back, we'll talk about stress, how we can improve joy, and then we'll do my favorite thing, which is just one thing. We'll do that. We're gonna pay a few bills, and we're gonna play some music. There's no space to dance on the table, so we're gonna have to dance on the chairs. Is that acceptable for you?
That is acceptable. I'm just looking at the wheels on these chairs and knowing myself, I'll wheel myself right out of the studio.
We'll be back right after this. Electric Light Orchestra and Mr. Blue Sky. So if you didn't hear this, I know it's that kind of like, ole. It's supposed to be Mexican wave.
Yes,
but it's the IPL air horn. So
clearly,
I will teach you. I will teach you cricket.
I used to score for the cricket teams at school.
Oh really?
I was useless. No, I was useless.
I was a reserve orange peeler. No, I'm joking. I was actually pretty good. I won't lie. That is your cue to send us your name, your surname, your number, and your email address if you'd like to win a set of 5 tickets to go and see the Girls Springboks take on Girl India. I think it'd be fabulous at DP World Wanderers. That should be absolutely fabulous. Let's get back to where we were. How much stress comes from delaying joy, from that constant, I'll relax later?
Well, we're not living. I mean, our lives aren't made up of grand moments and grand adventures. Our lives are made up of our everyday choices and how we view the world on a daily basis. So if we're procrastinating on joy, then of course it's going to impact the way that we view life and our experience of life, which is why when we're older, we look back and think, oh, you know, that wasn't a really fulfilling life. So I think it impacts our level and sense of fulfillment, which is something that I'm always striving to inspire people to do is, you know, create a life and business that you love, one that fulfills you, one that inspires you.
Yes.
But that isn't just going to happen by osmosis. We've got to be intentional about creating that.
Yeah, I get that. I find it difficult, especially somebody with the predisposition that I'm currently afflicted is the wrong word, and I find it difficult to find the absolute joy in something. And when I find something I really love and I'm really passionate about, you can't shut me up. And that's joy for me.
That's awesome. So how do you replicate that in other areas in your life?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's not. For me, it's not so much a blueprint as it is. Every situation is tailored.
Yes, yeah, and it's filtering all of those situations through the lens of joy, fulfillment, happiness, presence, being, alignment with our values, what we believe, and what we stand for.
No, agreed. Can joy actually improve how we function, how we think, how we work, how we show up for ourselves, for people?
Absolutely, because joy is a nervous system regulation tool, if we can put it that way in somatic terms. So if you are regulated, so if you're in a healthy or well-being state, by the way, today is International WellBeing Day.
Yes, that is correct.
So this is great conversation. But if we are in that state of well-being, healthy in body, mind, being, then it is going to help us think clearer.
Yes.
Because we're able to be more present and our minds aren't overworking with stress or drama or problems. So when that is removed from our conscious awareness, we're able to just show up from a more relaxed state. And when
100%.
we are more relaxed, like when you're having a shower, when you're walking and you're calm and relaxed, is when the ideas and the creativity pop up.
Yeah.
It's when those ideas come and now all of a sudden you're behind your laptop and you're in flow.
Yeah.
So
that's how it comes easier.
For sure.
Okay.
So it's a productivity hack, if anything.
For somebody who's listening right now, or who feels stuck in that routine, how do they start noticing joy again without forcing it?
So I think a really simple way is look at what fires you up, what fuels you, what excites you. And maybe you've got to really cast your mind back 20, 30, 40 years to when you were younger. But it's looking at those things. So, you know, if there were certain types of people that you hung around with that really inspired you, like you said, and it might not be the same people because maybe those relationships have changed or the people have moved, but the type of humans. Or maybe it was, you know, being around, for me, for example, being in nature, being around animals.
Yes.
So I make sure that a few times a year, and always on my birthday, I go visit Ash's Farm Animal Sanctuary in Victoria. Because it's just got all these beasties to hug. It's cows and donkeys.
Sweet,
it's just my favorite. So I know that being around there, spending a day there,
feel good.
And it lasts for a lot longer than just having watching a good movie. So those are the happiness moments, the small moments, but it's doing the things more often that put you into that state of relaxation and nervous system regulation and joy.
Got you.
So I think really it's replicating those or doing them more often.
You know what? When I go, it's like sounds like hard work. It is hard work.
It is hard work.
But you kind of have to. You got to do. If you want to be happy, you kind of got to get it done. You know.
Well, it's like a relationship. You know, you've got to work on a relationship for it to be healthy, whether it's friendships or a romantic partner. It takes work.
Yes.
You've got to make a concerted effort.
Yeah, agreed.
And it's the same with this. So if we just, look at, well, what will I feel like? What do I want to feel like in my life? and look at it as opposed to it's being hard work.
Yeah.
I'm excited to do more of this.
Got you. Okay. Just one thing for this week. Don't wait for the big moment. Notice the small things, like the tiny little things, like your coffee, a song, a quiet moment. Don't rush past it. Just sit in it. Just enjoy it.
Yes. And another just one thing that people can do is commit to yourself by making yourself accountable to someone else. So if you and I are in, relationship or connection with each other every day, for example, I'd say to you, Paul, I am choosing to invite more happiness and joy into my life.
Yes.
This is what I'm committing to do. Please hold me accountable, because I'll get stuck in a rut.
Yeah.
I'll be an autopilot 9 times out of 10. So if I know that I don't have either the conviction or the pattern or the way of being to be able to shift it for myself, I'm going to ask those around me to hold me accountable.
Yes.
I got a friend that a week ago said, we need to call him out when he's being negative.
Gotcha.
Because he's got a propensity to go into negativity. And he said to us, the whole table, there were 6 of us, it's like, guys, call me out on it. Which is fantastic, because he's...
But you need to mean it.
Absolutely, we need to mean it, but he's given us permission to do it. And that took awareness on his... in his way to acknowledge that he actually doesn't like being negative. It doesn't serve him or anyone around him. So he's
interesting.
Asked for
It's
help.
amazing.
I think it was amazing.
That's amazing. If we want to watch your things, watch your videos, find you, book you, read your book, all that kind of stuff, where do we find you?
Thank you, Paulie. So on social media, on my website, YouTube, it's my name. So Petra Laranjo, that's Laranjo. And I'll be posting, of course, this recording tonight at 8 p.m. on YouTube.
In case you missed the joy.
In case you
can
missed
get
the joy.
You can have the joy by watching this again.
Yes. Yay.
Okay, amazing. Have we got a little tease as to what next week going to look like?
So I was thinking of expanding the conversation into different themes. So almost, I don't want to call it productivity hacks. Let's call it alignment architecture, if we must. We'll come up with something else.
Alignment architecture. Sounds about right for the show.
All right.
Friend, thank you so much. It is always, I always enjoy these. The last couple of weeks, I have particularly enjoyed them a little more because they are extremely relatable, not only as somebody who struggles with mental health, but even just your normal everyday human being. I have found comfort and joy in this kind of stuff. So thank you. We will do the thing again next week, because people must fight with me. People must fight with me.
You know what? If I can ask those people, or anyone listening, is please pop onto our socials and let us know what is resonating, or what you are struggling with, or what you want to speak about more of. Because then, like you said, we want to keep these conversations relevant.
Absolutely.
To what's going on. So I always interpret it as what I'm experiencing, or what people around me are experiencing, or whether it's clients or personal relationships.
Got you.
But I would love to hear from all your people.
Just one last thing. It being Autism Awareness Month.
Yes.
I see a lot of stuff on social media, and I see a lot of and I get it on Facebook all the time. I've had enough. And people go, you're just looking for attention, or, if it's synonymous, that kind of behavior is synonymous with somebody. You know what? I will say this as somebody who tries to be open and honest and be there for people. If somebody says that to you, you have a responsibility to DM them, phone them, message them, and say, bro, are you okay?
Yes.
That is your responsibility.
I love that.
Not type. Can you just get over yourself already? Can you go for a walk in the garden? So,
or just like it, or not even say anything. It's when those moments, that takes huge vulnerability to share something like that publicly.
So,
that's so great.
So find the joy in being there for other people.
Yes. That's one of the biggest ways to invite joy. And thank you for mentioning that, because it's doing something for someone else.
Absolutely.
Without expecting anything in return. But whether it's for humans, animals, or the planet,
Yep,
it's
every
just one
time.
thing we can do to make it.
Friend, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll chat soon.